Oh, hello everyone. Welcome. Today we're going to talk about two topics. First thing I would like to mention though, I am under the weather, so I apologize for my voice. Sadly, not a lot I can do about it. It's either don't make anything or make stuff. So that's how it is. Anyway, today's two subject matters are about key cards for the Switch 2 and pirate software in the Stop Killing Games movement. Primarily about the Stop Killing Games, but I do want to talk a little about pirate software's childish behavior, though. Anyway, let's get to it. So, first, let's talk about the keycard. So, keycard sales are supposedly out there. Well, I haven't seen like a primary, like actual source being presented. Supposedly there have been comments. Supposed to move, not middle finger. Comments about supposedly there haven't been very good sales of key cards. Now, a lot of people in my camp will probably like, oh, yay, that shows off that nobody wants the damn things. And I would hope. I would hope a good chunk of the people are that. I would hope. I really, really do hope. I really, really hope that we really do. But let's be honest, there probably are other factors. Now, the big argument would be is how big are those factors factoring into this? So I would say the three big factors in this would definitely be one, the people who are very disappointed in it not being a proper physical release. Two, a lot of ports. A lot of the third party stuff that has shown up on the Switch 2 so far is ports, old ports, stuff that's already been out. There haven't been really any new things. So if they're like ports now and they still sell poorly, I would say there was more to contribute into the argument that people like me are in that. But as it is, most of these are older ports of games, so it is a justifiable argument that a lot of these might always be owned by most people, and that's a fair argument there, to be fair. So, what's the third thing? What's the third possible reason? The old games. On top of that, they're old games. Not a lot of them are very recent titles. And again, it's people might not be like the normies are very flaky on playing old stuff a lot of times. A lot of them sometimes want the newest shit that's out there right now. And the only stuff like that on the Switch 2 is Willy Nintendo's titles. So those are all three things that could factor into why key cards are not selling well. And like I said, to me, in my deepest of my heart, I really hope the majority of that is people who aren't going to support key cards. I really and truly hope that is the case because it is very scummy. I do not recommend supporting them. I don't. It is a dark future we are looking forward towards supporting these things. If they don't want to give us a proper release, then squeeze them to do it. We have the power. By not buying, we can get proper releases. So, those are my thoughts on the key card thing. Again, in my deepest heart, I really hope the scenario is the majority just do not wish to support key cards. I really hope that's the case. But I feel like we are still going to suffer this key card problem for a while. And obviously that sucks, but there's not a lot we can do about it. If they don't want to fix it and they refuse to, all we could do is keep not supporting it. And I will continue doing that. I don't own a Switch 2. And even though I will likely inevitably own a Switch 2 for Nintendo titles, as it is, there's nothing interesting enough for me to care about. And considering most of the time there usually aren't that many Nintendo titles I'm too interested in these days anyway. It's probably going to be a good while before I care about getting one just for Nintendo titles, let alone any exclusive shit that's going to be on it. And that's assuming any of that stuff even gets proper physical releases. The more there is no proper physical releases, the longer I would not be buying a Switch 2. And it's sad to say, like, to me, the Switch 2 is almost on par with the Xbox shit lately. Like, I only have an Xbox One because Dan got one for $5 and I bought from him for 100. Look how much I've used that. Like, that's the only reason I got. I would never buy an Xbox One for even more than that. And nowadays, you can probably get them cheaper now, be fair. But still, I have no plans of getting a Switch 2 anytime soon. And the longer this is a problem, the more it's going to be not something I care about. But anyway, let's go on to the Stop Killing Games movement. Stop Killing Games was put out a video talking about some slight disappointments about pushback in the initiative. Now, only very few people pushed back to this, to be honest, and one of those people was Pilot Software. Now, I'll say it again. I never heard of Pilot Software prior to the Stop Killing Game movement. I knew Ross because he does that Mind of Freeman skit show, and it's hilarious as shit. But besides that, he also talks about a lot of niche games once in a while. They're usually really long videos, but they're really enjoyable to listen to. Ross is a very nice person. I've literally never seen the dude ever be rude or mean to anyone. He's usually very well mannered in talking, unlike me, who's usually a rough and gutted sailor who likes to tell it as it is, which is a shame when he has to deal with someone like Pirate Software, who's literally basically dark side Phil of the game industry. Like, as in, like, not a player, but as in, like, somebody who works in the game industry. The dude is, I'm fully on the belief that Pirate Software is either disingenuous or he's literally dark side Phil of the game industry. He literally refuses to sit down and understand anyone's point of view with this initiative. He literally has refused to talk to anyone, including Ross, who has done nothing but been kind to him. But what did Pirate Software do? He literally insulted everyone like a childish 2-year-old. Like, literally, you can. I mean, I'm sure you've seen other people's videos where they show the clips where he just fucking acts like a child talking about the initiative on stream and shit. And he's apparently deleted all those. The dude is like fucking deleting shit and stuff and that. Like, the dude is just a journalist. He's incapable of taking criticism because he tried to sue some indie dev who was making like this game that makes fun of live streamers like weird moments in time and stuff, and the like mini games and things. And he made one making fun of Pirate Software when he ran away from his raid in a apparently World of Warcraft has a one life server thing mode on it. It didn't exist when I played, but apparently, like you die and it's gone forever kind of thing. And he went away from a raid and let like I think 2 or 3 people die. Now I don't really play WoW anymore. Like I said, I haven't played for a very long time. I'm not familiar with the meta and all that shit these days, so I'm not going to criticize whether he was right or wrong in doing that. I'm not going to criticize that. But the point of it is, people made fun of him, and an indie dev made a side like video thing with his voice clips in it, but it wasn't in the game build. And he DMCA'd the game off of Steam without even proving that was in the game on Steam and threatened to sue him. And as far as I understand, that lawsuit is still going through. I couldn't find anything about it being canceled or settled. So Pirate Software was literally suing someone for making fun of him in a tweet video with his voice clips. The guy is unhinged. Literally, I don't understand how anyone can pay this guy any respect. The few times I've seen things about him, he talks about like his father worked at Blizzard and that apparently let him get into Blizzard. And I'm not saying that's necessarily a bad thing. Sometimes you need help to get into a job sometimes. But this guy is clearly unhinged, in my opinion. He can't take criticism. His ego is so giant and large, he cannot even demean himself to literally listen to a opposition on a topic that he is completely misunderstanding. And he's literally disproven on it being possible. He claims this stuff will hurt the industry or isn't even possible. People have literally made MMOs that are dead alive. People have literally made console online only experiences alive. People are literally already doing this shit. They have to hack and find alternative ways to actually get to work. It is completely possible to do this. It is not impossible. And as many people have said, this is to help the future of the game industry. Nobody is necessarily expecting every old fucking online game to magically be go back to and fucking worked on for the people of now. We want to better the system in the future for the game industry. And Pirate Software is a developer. Of course, he is going to oppose it because it means more work for him. And it also shows he has no respect for his work. He doesn't care about it as art. He cares about his money. And that's fine, to be honest. If he doesn't look at his personal work as art and views it as a source of money, that's fine. I don't view my job as a work of art. I mean, that's fine. But that doesn't mean you can tell everyone else a video game can't be a work of art. It's literally always been okayed to be considered work of art. You can't necessarily change that, my friend. He clearly has no interest in caring about preserving games and stuff. And I understand to a certain degree why developers don't really want to do this to a certain extent. One, it's work. Two, it distracts from you buying the newer games, which is probably the bigger thing they want to resist it for. They don't want you to continue playing the Crew 1. They want you to buy the Crew 3 or the 4 or 5 and keep buying and spending and playing those and buying the microtransactions of those. They don't want you to sit down and play the old entry. They don't want you to experience it. They don't care about that experience. They care about the money. And again, to a certain extent, it's fine if you don't view it as art, but you don't get to deem what consumers want. Pirate Software is a dev. His opinion shouldn't matter for consumer rights. His opinion matters for devs who don't want to do more work. You should not be caring about Pirate Software's opinion for the most part on this. It is possible to start a game project with the idea of having an end of life system in place for the game. You just need to do it. And because a lot of these companies don't want to start a new system in it, they're going to resist. Whether Stop Killing Games will make its goal, I don't know. It's gotten a lot of new traction and a lot of new people signing up. But again, it's only for the people that live in EU countries. If you live in the EU country and you haven't signed it and you care about trying to preserve older, if you want to try and preserve games that become older over the years and potentially, maybe, hopefully, also better older games in general, but to give games coming into an end of life system a chance to continue some kind of life after they're forgotten. Support Stop Killing Games, sign the petition, and try to get a chance for the game industry. To me, the game industry is dying. The Switch 2 is proof, in my opinion, if it does not change what it's doing now, that the game industry that I love, the right to own anything I buy on it, is just fading into dust. And I won't care about being part of the modern game industry if I don't get the right to own the majority of my games. I've said before, I understand things like MMOs and shit. You have to do like a fan server and stuff and that to continue those. And I think that's fine. It's been proven it can be done. It, giving the resources would bail easy that and stuff. But like single player games and stuff shouldn't be going in this direction either. And they're also being thoughtful for in these regards. But if we keep going into this future where we don't get to own anything, we have no rights to anything, and the developers can take it away from us whenever, I don't want to be a part of that game industry. I'm sitting here, both in VR and in real life, in a room surrounded by video games. I don't need modern video gaming. Modern video gaming needs me. They need my money. And if they don't want to give me what I want, then I won't give them my money. I won't be a part of it. And if I'm the only one who does that, then I guess they won't really suffer for it. Like I said, you gotta remember the consumer has the power, but only if we all work together. And that's why movements like Stop Killing Games are important. Even if Stop Killing Games doesn't work, it is amazing to see the amounts of people who supported it. It was amazing to see how many people supported it when it first started, and it continues to have large support. It is just a shame it was only for the EU people, though, because imagine how quickly it would have been done if somehow the whole world could have been a part of it. But even just for the EU, a large amount of people of you cared, and I appreciate your time you put into this movement for all of us in the world to care about video games. Don't let people like Pirate Software discourage you in protecting your rights and the art of beautiful games. People like him don't care, and they shouldn't be given a day or time, in my opinion. Anyway, regardless of whether it wins or loses, we can only hope good things come from it. And until next time, thank you for joining here at the Proving Grounds. I apologize for being sick during these last few videos, but hopefully I'll be better for the next several. Take it easy. Be safe out there in the proving ground. And remember, you're awesome. And you are what make the game industry, not the devs. You. You get to decide how this industry moves forward. And you alone with everyone around you in this get to make that choice. We get to make and break this, not the game industry. We make the game industry. And if we don't pay for the game industry, then the game industry collapses. And that's just how it is. Till next time, thank you for joining.